Hello. Today I'd like to tell you about how chiropractors can adjust your outlook on life. I'd like to tell you a story. And imagine, if you will, you're in your 20s and you've been suffering from lower back pain that radiates down your legs, as well as severe headaches. It can take you 10 to 15 minutes to stand up straight when you get up in the morning, and something as simple as a sneeze can cause pain in your lower back. Now remember, you're only in your 20s. Can you imagine living your life like this for the rest of your life? Well, I can. The story I just mentioned is real and it's mine. And after receiving chiropractic care, it has given me back the ability to sleep comfortably. It has greatly reduced my pain and alleviated most of my headaches. This is without surgery or medication. Now, I'm going to guess that most of you don't enjoy or even look forward to going to the doctor or the dentist. Am I right? Well, according to U.S. News, a study done by the Palmer College of Chiropractic, since 2011, 62 million people have visited a chiropractor, and about 77% of them are happy. That's a lot of people. That should say something about going to the chiropractor. Currently, there are many myths and fears associated with chiropractors. Today, I'm going to disprove those myths and prove to you just how unfounded those fears are. What I want to address are, first, the 3 most common myths, and second, the 2 most common fears associated with going to the chiropractor. Let's start off with the 3 most common myths that people do believe and why they're untrue. These myths are that chiropractors aren't real doctors, adjustments grind away the bones and cause arthritis, and that once you start, you can't stop. So the first thing, chiropractors aren't real doctors. Now, chiropractors are required to have a 2-year undergraduate in pre-med, a 4-year postgraduate degree in an accredited chiropractic college, and required to complete at least 12 hours, and that was a minimum, of continuing education each year. According to AFC Chiropractic, chiropractors receive about 4,485 hours of college education. Now that's compared to the 4,248 hours received by many other medical professions. It's a difference of 237 hours. Quite a difference. Now that sounds like a real doctor to me. What do you think? Let's talk about grinding down bones and arthritis. The second most common fear or myth is that adjustments are just bone scraping on bone, grinding them down, and causing arthritis. First of all, the sound you hear when you have an adjustment is actually the release of trapped carbon dioxide, and the actual movement of bones will lubricate the joints. Now, according to Chiropractic for the World Foundation, even the myth about cracking your knuckles, just a myth. Real story, a mom got tired of hearing her kid crack her knuckles and told her it would cause arthritis. Now that we know it's just trapped gas, and even moms can start myths, let's move on to the last myth. Now, the third most common myth is once you start, you can't stop. Now, according to my chiropractor, Dr. Andy Nelson, as well as many other articles I've read, you can always stop. However, as with many things in life, you can't just go once or twice and expect things to remain as they are forever. For an example, your car. Take it in for an oil change or an alignment. What do you think? You're not going to ever have to do an oil change or an alignment again? What about the dentist? Go once, no more cavities? We wish. And how about an exercise program? You get fit, you stop. You going to stay fit for the rest of your life? I think you get the point. Chiropractic care isn't any different. You can put your bones back into alignment, but they can always go back out again. Now keep in mind, many of us go to the chiropractor for the first time as adults, and we've been living with misalignments for years. One trip to the chiropractor can't fix a lifetime of problems. Now there are more myths out there than these, but these are the most common ones. So let's move on to the fears. Now, as fears go, there's 2 that kept coming up. Adjustments can hurt, and they can make you feel worse than you already do. and adjustments can cause a stroke. Let's see why those are unfounded. Now I'm going to start with the most common fear. Adjustments hurt and make you feel worse than you already do. Now, according to articles written by needhama.gov and thrivehealth.ca, some adjustments can cause some discomfort and stiffness, but that usually goes away in a couple days. Let's compare it to surgery. And I know those who have had a surgery know this is true. Surgeries are painful. The pain does not go away in 1 or 2 days, and sometimes it never goes away. Also, there's prescription drugs. Now, I know they generally don't cause pain, but they do have some side effects. Some of the more serious ones are that they mask the pain you're already feeling, which could cause more damage to the body part. Prescription drugs can become addictive if taken over long periods of time. And there's some small things: dizziness, drowsiness, nausea, impairment, or in my case, the job I have, almost all prescription drugs will disqualify me from going to work. So stiffness and discomfort sound like a much better option to me. There's one more fear I'd like to cover, and this fear is that having adjustments can cause a stroke. This has recently been brought into the limelight by the death of the model Katie May. Now, May suffered a stroke after having an adjustment. What the news failed to mention is whether the fall she had caused the tear in the blood vessel. In my opinion, this has been blown way out of proportion. And here's my evidence to support my opinion. Now, according to the article by needhama.gov, chiropractic care is one of the safest types of health care in the world. Dr. Andy Nelson also mentions that chiropractic malpractice insurance is significantly less than any other medical malpractice insurance. Here's some statistics when it comes to adjustments. About 1 in a million may suffer a tear in the blood vessel in your neck, which may cause a stroke. An article by U.S. News, according to a 2001 study by the Canadian Medical Association Journal, about 1 in 5.85 million adjustments may cause a tear. Let's compare this to the number of people who die from surgery, anesthesia, and prescription drugs. These are just back surgeries. Based on a study that was done between the years 2004 and 2007, this was within a 60-day period. 1.8 deaths per 1,000 patients. So that's going to equate to about 1,800 deaths per 1 million patients, and that's in a 60-day period. 1,800 versus 1, that's a huge, huge difference. Now, we know chiropractors are real doctors, and adjustments don't grind away your bones, cause arthritis, generally hurt, and you can stop going when you want. There are also some reasons why patients feel worse after adjustments and how rare it is to cause a stroke. Dr. Nelson commented, "Going to the chiropractor is safer than flying, driving, or even taking an aspirin." Now, we've heard about the 3 most common myths and the 2 most common fears about going to chiropractors. And they are just that, myths and fears. And they really don't hold up to scrutiny when we examine the truths. According to the Chiropractic Association, there are about 250 million visits, that's a lot, to the chiropractor each year. And that many people can't be wrong.